The UK is known for its royal family, historic landmarks, diverse culture and vibrant cities. This is Katie from Creative Travel Guide, and today we share the ultimate UK travel guide. Looking for more travel tips? Make sure to hit subscribe and ring that notification bell. So firstly, let's look at the best time to visit. Generally, late spring from May to June or early autumn in September are considered the ideal times to visit the UK. This is when the weather is milder with fewer crowds compared to the peak summer season. Spring brings blooming flowers, lush greenery and longer daylight hours. Just be aware that April showers is a real thing in the UK, so make sure to bring an umbrella. Autumn can be great for those looking to enjoy some scenic walks in the parks and countryside, whilst the weather is still fairly warm in September. Summer from June to August is a very popular time to visit the cities in the UK, so it can get very crowded, especially in the tourist hotspots. However, this is the best time to enjoy festivals, events and outdoor activities. Winter is from December to February here and is the off-peak season, characterised by shorter days, colder temperatures and the very occasional snowfall, especially in the northern regions. However, if you do manage to visit on the lead up to Christmas, you can expect Christmas markets, cosy pubs and some beautiful decorations around the cities. So now let's look at getting there. Many people choose to fly into the UK with international airports located across the United Kingdom. These airports serve numerous international flights from around the world, but there are plenty of airports in the UK that you can travel to from Europe as well. If you are choosing to take the train into the UK, you can catch the Eurostar, a high-speed train that connects the UK to cities like Paris, Brussels and Amsterdam. Once you are in the UK, you can travel domestically by train using the extensive railway networks connecting major cities and towns. Ferries are another option for travelling to the UK, especially if you are coming from nearby countries like France, Ireland or the Netherlands. So now let's look at how to get around. Like we mentioned before, the UK has a comprehensive rail network operated by several companies, including National Rail, Virgin Trains, Great Western Railway and ScotRail. Trains connect major cities and towns, offering fast and efficient transportation. If you book your tickets online, you'll be able to get some discounted fares, and rail passes like the Brit Rail Pass are available for international visitors. Buses and coaches are popular for travelling shorter distances, so check out the National Express or Megabus, which are two major coach operators offering services across the UK. Once you are in the cities themselves, you can use the local bus services available, and these can connect you to some of the more rural areas as well. However, if you do want to explore the countryside, especially in places like Wales or Scotland, we recommend renting or bringing your own car to explore these rural areas and scenic routes of the UK. Whilst you are in London, you can use the underground rail network known as the Tube, which is the fastest way to travel within the city. So now let's look at some of the typical prices. So of course, hostels and hotel prices will vary. A hotel in London is going to be very different to a hotel in Scotland, but we share a rough guideline so that you can budget your trip. So dorm beds can typically be found between £20 to £50 per night, depending on the location and the facilities, while private rooms in hostels are also available, usually starting between £40 to £100 per night. Budget hotel rooms in the UK offer basic amenities and can be found from under £100, especially if you are staying in places like a Travelodge or Premier Inn, whilst mid-range hotel rooms range between £80 to £150 per night. More luxurious hotel prices will really depend on where you are staying, but they range from £150 per night all the way up to £700 to £800 per night, depending on where you are choosing to stay. So the UK can be an expensive place to visit, but there are ways that you can save some money. So like we always say, try to travel in the off-peak season. We recommend heading here in October or November for some cheaper hotel prices whilst the weather is still warm. Avoid the major holidays and also check out the school holidays in the UK, as hotel prices will go up during this time as well. Book accommodation as far in advance as you can and check out those chain hotels like Travelodge, Premier Inn and Ibis for some cheaper rates. Stick to public transportation such as the buses and trains and take advantage of the free attractions in the UK. Many museums, especially in London, are completely free to visit. Of course, you have parks to visit too, and historic sites are often free to visit as well. For those places that aren't free, you can check out their website and see if they have any free admission days or discounted days, or you can get a city pass in some of the cities that we mentioned in this video. We will leave some of those links in the description below. So now let's look at some of the best things to do in the United Kingdom. We recommend that you start your trip in London. Visit iconic landmarks such as the Tower of London, Buckingham Palace and the British Museum. Take a ride on the London Eye for panoramic views of the city and then check out Big Ben. Try to see at least one West End show whilst you are here and then visit the Tate Modern for some contemporary art. Next, jump on a train to Watford to experience the magic of Harry Potter. Located at the Warner Brothers studio, you can enjoy a Wizarding World of Harry Potter tour that takes you through some of the scenes and sets from the movies themselves. If you are a huge Harry Potter fan, you can also take a tour whilst you're in London to see places like 9 3/4 at King's Cross and other iconic filming destinations in London. We will leave a link to that tour in the description below. Whilst you're in the UK, we also recommend heading to historic university cities like Oxford and Cambridge, but then checking out a typical seaside in places like Brighton. Head up north to discover Edinburgh, where you can explore the historic Edinburgh Castle, stroll along the Royal Mile and hike up Arthur's Seat. Other great cities to visit in the UK include Liverpool, where you can learn about the hometown of the Beatles, and then explore the historic sites and football in Manchester. If you are a history enthusiast, make sure to check out Stonehenge, a UNESCO World Heritage Site shrouded in mystery and history. Walk the Jurassic Coast, another UNESCO World Heritage Site known for its fossil-rich cliffs and stunning scenery. The Cotswolds is a beautiful, charming natural beauty in the UK, known for its honey-coloured stone cottages and quaint tea rooms. You can explore the many medieval castles of Wales, enjoy a traditional afternoon tea anywhere in the UK, but also make sure to visit the Roman baths whilst you are in Bath. So firstly, we have the history. The UK is full of historic landmarks and centuries-old castles ready to be explored. Many visitors choose to begin their trip in London, where you can find historic sites such as the Tower of London, St Paul's Cathedral and Buckingham Palace. We also recommend that you head down to Windsor to see Windsor Castle, visit Stonehenge, a prehistoric monument with mysterious origins, and then head to Bath, where you can find the Roman baths showcasing Roman engineering and architecture. We also recommend that you head up to Scotland to see Edinburgh Castle. Which brings us on to the next reason to visit the UK, the landmarks. Because the UK is full of history, it is also full of world-famous sights to see. Yes, you've got places like Buckingham Palace and Stonehenge, but you could also visit the London Eye and the Shard. If you are heading up north, you could also see the Angel of the North, a contemporary sculpture near Newcastle. Next we have the museums. The UK is full of interesting museums, many of which are free to visit or have free days to visit on. The British Museum is home to a vast and diverse collection of art and artefacts spanning centuries and cultures, making it one of our favourite museums to visit in London. The National Gallery is an extensive collection of European paintings, whilst the Victoria and Albert Museum is a museum of art and design featuring a diverse range of exhibits. The Tate Modern is a contemporary art museum worth visiting, and the Natural History Museum is a fascinating place to explore with the family. You could also enjoy the engaging exhibits at the Science Museum in London too. Outside of the capital, you could visit Scotland's National Museum that showcases collections covering science, art and technology, whilst the National Museum of Cardiff showcases Welsh art and geology. Another reason to visit the UK is for the countryside. The UK is known for its picturesque landscapes and charming villages in the countryside, with places like the Cotswolds and the Lake District offering rolling hills and beautiful lakes. There is plenty of things to see and do for those that love the outdoors. You can also head up to the Scottish Highlands for majestic mountains or hike in Snowdonia. And another reason to visit the UK is for the pub culture. After living and travelling abroad for the past 10 years, we can safely say that nothing beats a good old pub in the UK. Head to at least one British pub during your visit, enjoy a pint of beer or cider, and try some local food too. Known around the world, the royal family brings in many visitors to the country every year, especially London. Whilst in London, you can tour Buckingham Palace or witness the changing of the guard outside of the palace itself, but we also recommend visiting Kensington Palace, a historic royal residence and once home to Queen Victoria. You could also head out to Windsor to explore Windsor Castle, take a stroll around the Royal Botanic Gardens in Edinburgh, which is a favourite spot for the royal family to visit. You could also attend the Royal Ascot, a prestigious horse racing event where the royal family often make appearances at. So the British food might not be the first type of food that comes to mind when you think about the best cuisines around the world, but it does have a diverse culinary scene to try. Begin with fish and chips, a deep fried fish in batter served with thick cut fries, and make sure to get some tartar sauce with that as well. But also make sure to try a roast dinner typically served in pubs on a Sunday. You could also enjoy a full English breakfast, eat a comforting shepherd's pie, or try a Cornish pasty, a pastry filled with meat and vegetables. You can find some fantastic afternoon teas all over the country with some themed options available, and whilst you're in Scotland, make sure to try traditional Scottish dish haggis. The UK hosts a variety of festivals and events each year, which is another reason people choose to visit. The Glastonbury Festival is one of the largest and most iconic music festivals in the world, whilst the Edinburgh Fringe Festival is one of the largest performing arts festivals. The Notting Hill Carnival is Europe's largest street festival, celebrating the Caribbean culture with parades, music and food. The Chelsea Flower Show is a prestigious flower show perfect for gardening enthusiasts. The Reading and Leeds festivals are two music festivals which feature rock, indie and electronic music. The UK is also home to some vibrant, diverse cities to explore. Of course, many people will begin their trip to the UK in London, the capital city with a global hub known for its iconic landmarks and world-class museums. But we also recommend you head to Edinburgh in Scotland for its historic architecture and stunning Edinburgh Castle. Liverpool is well known for being home to the Beatles, and you can visit the vibrant waterfront and learn more about the band and the city's history whilst you're here. The capital of Wales is Cardiff, which offers a combination of modern shopping centres with historic castles and a growing waterfront area, whilst Oxford is known for its prestigious university and charming streets. We have a blog post about the best places to visit in the UK over on our website Creative Travel Guide. I will leave the link to that in the description below. Manchester is a dynamic city with a rich industrial history and two very popular football teams, and Glasgow is Scotland's largest city, celebrated for its art, music and vibrant nightlife. Cambridge is another world-renowned university city, whilst Leeds is a bustling city in West Yorkshire with popular shopping and dining options. You could visit Newcastle with a rich industrial past, or head to one of the cultural festivals in Leicester. Brighton is a popular seaside destination not too far from London, whilst Aberdeen is a Scottish city with a strong connection to the oil industry and an interesting history to learn. We also recommend you spend some time in Belfast, the capital of Northern Ireland, known for its history, vibrant art scene and Titanic Quarter. Another great thing about the UK is how many attractions are available to explore and enjoy with the whole family. We love the Harry Potter studio tour in Watford, just on the outskirts of London, where you can explore the magical world of Harry Potter through this behind the scenes tour, where you can see the film sets and props from the movies. Located in Windsor is a Legoland theme park, offering rides, shows, and Lego-themed attractions for children of all ages. London is full of exciting museums with engaging exhibits for children, such as the Natural History Museum and the Science Museum. In London, you can also head to the Sea Life Aquarium, the Tower of London, or Madame Tussauds. In Leicester, you will find the National Space Centre, a space-themed attraction with exciting interactive exhibits for children. You could also head to Drayton Manor Theme Park, a family-friendly theme park which offers rides, attractions, but also a zoo, as does Chessington World of Adventure. Children who love chocolate will enjoy a day at Cadbury World, located in Birmingham, or you can learn more about Roald Dahl at the Roald Dahl Museum and Story Centre in Buckinghamshire. If you are travelling with older children, you could also head to theme parks like Thorpe Park and Alton Towers, with more thrilling rides available for teenagers. So firstly, we have London. Of course, we begin with London as the capital of England. This is the most visited destination in the UK, and for good reason. Visit the historic sites like the Tower of London and Buckingham Palace, see the city from above from the Shard or the Sky Garden, and then visit at least one of the many museums in the city. Our favourite is the Natural History Museum. From one capital to another, Edinburgh is a picturesque historic destination to explore. Visit the impressive Edinburgh Castle, a royal fortress perched above the city. Walk along the cobbled street of the Royal Mile, head into one of the many boutique and souvenir shops, and then check out the local Scottish dishes in the nearby pubs. Next we have Stonehenge. As one of the world's oldest World Heritage Sites, Stonehenge is a famous place to visit in the UK. This unique site covers around 20 square kilometres, but it can get busy, so book tickets in advance to avoid disappointment, especially if you are visiting in the summer. Whilst you are here, you should also explore the city of Salisbury with its famous cathedral that is home to the Magna Carta. Even though this is one of the smaller cities in the UK, Bath has plenty of things to offer visitors. Named after the famous Roman baths, this is a beautiful city that is worth exploring during your time in the UK. Take a tour of the historic Roman baths, but also bathe in one of the modern baths and spas in the city. Appreciate the incredible architecture here, visit the Royal Crescent and see the Abbey. Then we have Liverpool. Known for being the home of the Beatles, Liverpool is a great city to explore. Visit the Beatles Experience to learn about the famous band, but also head to one of the many museums and art galleries here, with the Museum of Liverpool being a great choice for first-time visitors. To experience the charming countryside on offer in England, head to the Cotswolds. This is known as one of the most beautiful places to visit in the UK and a very popular place to visit. It isn't too far from London or Bath, so you could visit both during a trip to the UK. Explore the quaint villages, enjoy the many hiking trail options, and visit the historic sites in the area. Then we have Windsor. The historic town of Windsor is just a short train journey from London and a great place for visitors. Visit the famous Windsor Castle, but make sure to book tickets in advance to avoid disappointment, especially when visiting in the school holidays. Explore the cobblestone lanes, and families can enjoy Legoland Windsor for a fun day out. Then we have Oxford and Cambridge. These historical destinations are known for being college and university cities. Whilst in Oxford, you can explore the famous Oxford University, see the filming locations of the popular Harry Potter movies, and appreciate the impressive architecture in the city. A different university city is Cambridge. There are many preserved historic buildings in Cambridge for you to explore, but we also recommend you visit King's College Chapel, the Botanic Garden, and at least one of the museums here. Then, to finish off a trip to the UK, why not head to Brighton? Experience a British seaside experience by heading to Brighton. This is a popular spot to visit in the south of England, and it's fairly easy to get to from London. Walk along the Pebble Beach, enjoy fish and chips, and take a walk along Brighton Pier. Brighton can be incredibly popular, so for a quieter alternative, you could visit the coastal town of Eastbourne with less tourists and slightly cheaper hotel rates. So the first place that you have to visit in the UK is London. Of course, we are going to say London in this list. Home to famous landmarks, endless museums, cool cafes, incredible street art, and all types of food for every budget. What is not to love about London? If you are visiting on a budget, there are plenty of free things to do in London, including the free museums, walking tours around the landmark, and of course, art lovers will enjoy the Tate Modern. Our next destination in the UK to visit is Bath. So a trip to England isn't quite complete without a few days in Bath. Whether it is a day trip from London or a weekend away, a trip to Bath is a must. This is a beautiful city full of history, offering a unique side to England. Head to the Roman baths, considered the most important surviving Roman architecture in the country, or head to the gorgeous town homes on Royal Crescent. History lovers should also head to Oxford. One of the first of the many university towns in the UK, Oxford is the perfect weekend getaway for history lovers. Just under an hour away from London, Oxford offers medieval architecture. Make sure to take a walking tour around the city to see all of the sights. Plus, Harry Potter fans can head to the Christ Church College to see the historic buildings that inspired the Great Hall. So next we have Cambridge. So Cambridge is also known for its famous university, but there is more to explore than that. Visit some of those impressive colleges, but also head to some of the amazing museums and take in the views of the city from St. Mary's Church Tower. Take a ride along the waterways, head to some of the amazing restaurants the city has to offer, and also take in a beer garden because this is a great place to do so. Our next weekend getaway in the UK is the Cotswolds. So known as one of the prettiest places in England, this destination is perfect no matter what time of year you visit. This destination is all about the picturesque villages and those historic castles, so get exploring. And our next destination is Liverpool. So Beatle fans can enjoy the museum here, whilst the Albert Dock is a wonderful place full of restaurants, bars and occasional food trucks during the summer. Liverpool does offer something for everyone, but it is an ideal place to go with your friends if you are looking for a great night out. Of course, we must begin this list with London. The capital city is a must visit with iconic landmarks like the Tower of London and Buckingham Palace. There are plenty of museums for you to explore whilst you're in the city, with many being free, but also find time to see at least one West End show. Then we have Stonehenge. This prehistoric monument is shrouded in mystery and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is located a short distance from Salisbury and is a must-see site for history lovers. You can take a day trip from London to see the famous site. We will leave a recommended tour in the description below. For a romantic trip, why not head to Bath? Known for its Roman baths and Georgian architecture, Bath is a charming city to explore. After visiting the baths themselves, why not appreciate the architecture at Bath Abbey and the Royal Crescent? Enjoy a modern spa experience, visit the Jane Austen Centre, and then take a boat trip along the river. Then we have the Lake District. Known as a paradise for nature lovers and outdoor enthusiasts, the Lake District offers picturesque lakes, rolling hills and hiking trails. It is a perfect destination for hiking, boating and for enjoying the scenic beauty, ideal for those active travellers. Known for its medieval architecture, York is home to the impressive York Minster, narrow winding streets, and the well-preserved city walls. Visit the many museums here, like the York Castle Museum and the National Railway Museum, but also delve into the sweet history of chocolate at York's Chocolate Story. Then we have Oxford and Cambridge. These historic university destinations are known for their stunning architecture, beautiful campuses, and rich academic history. Both cities offer incredible architecture and fascinating museums, with Oxford being used as a filming location in the Harry Potter movies, whilst many enjoy a punting tour along the River Cam in Cambridge. Cornwall is another great place to visit in England, especially in the summer months. This southwestern region is known for its rugged coastline, charming villages, and beautiful beaches. Visit places like the picturesque seaside town of St Ives and the diverse range of plants housed in the Eden Project. There are castles and dramatic cliffs ready to be appreciated here, so spend at least a week exploring everything Cornwall has to offer. The Cotswolds is another picturesque region known for its charming villages, rolling hills, and quaint cottages. It is an ideal place for leisurely walks and exploring that traditional English countryside. This can be a more expensive area to visit, so book accommodation in advance, especially if you are visiting in the summer. This is an incredibly popular destination in England. Known for its maritime history, Liverpool is home to the famous Albert Dock, the Beatles Story exhibition, and a popular waterfront area. Learn about the city's history at the Museum of Liverpool, admire the Liverpool Cathedral, and then unwind and enjoy the music scene at the Cavern Club. Then we have Windsor. Home to Windsor Castle, the oldest and largest inhabited castle in the world, this place offers a glimpse into the royal life. Explore the castle, stroll through the gorgeous Windsor Great Park, and then visit the historic Eton College. Families can head to Legoland in the area before taking a Thames River cruise to see the castle and the surrounding countryside from a different perspective. So firstly, we have the history. Of course, we have to start with the incredible history that you can find in London. Watch the changing of the guard outside Buckingham Palace, explore the Tower of London to see the famous crown jewels, and then visit the stunning Westminster Abbey. You can also head over to St Paul's Cathedral or appreciate the impressive architecture of the Palace of Westminster. London is also home to many fantastic museums, many of which being free. Learn about the country's history as well as history from around the world at the British Museum, or learn more about the World Wars at the Imperial War Museum. Families should visit the Natural History Museum or the Science Museum, whilst the Victoria and Albert Museum has some interesting exhibits that change throughout the year. Then we have the attractions. So beyond the historic sites and museums, London also has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Head to the London Eye to enjoy views from above, enjoy snacks from around the world at Borough Market, and head to the family-friendly attractions like Madame Tussauds and Shrek's Adventure. Head to the zoo, get spooked at the London Dungeons, or take in a view from above at the Shard. The Go City London Pass includes many of these top attractions. We will leave the link in the description below. The next reason to visit London is for the art. If you enjoy visiting art galleries, London has plenty of options for you. Explore the National Gallery located in Trafalgar Square, then head over to Tate Britain, displaying 500 years of British art. Tate Modern is a fantastic museum showcasing art from the early 1900s to modernism and contemporary art. London is the place to go for shopping, whether it is the major flagship stores on Oxford Street or the small local markets in Portobello Road. There is something for everyone. Westfield Stratford City is one of the largest shopping centres in Europe, whilst Harrods and Selfridges are iconic department stores that you should visit too, even if it is just to browse. Whilst you're in London, you also have to visit the West End. This is a lively area just to walk around, but you should also try your best to book tickets to at least one show. Whether it is an iconic musical, a family-friendly Disney show, or a comedy, you are bound to find something you'll love. That is why the West End is just one more reason to visit London. Another reason is for the Thames. So the Thames River runs through the heart of London, and you can take various cruises along the river and even use the river as a means of transportation. For those looking to sightsee, you can take a hop-on, hop-off cruise boat along the river. For couples, you could take a sunset or dinner cruise, whilst the City Cruises afternoon tea option is a great choice for families and friends. We will leave links to all of these cruises in the description below. London also has plenty of sports that you can enjoy. For football fans, head to one of the stadiums in the city to catch a match. We personally recommend Chelsea, but we are biased. Head to Wimbledon for tennis, visit Twickenham for rugby, or watch cricket at the Lord's Cricket Ground. London also has plenty of nightlife options for visitors. From clubs to comedy shows and cabarets, there is so much to see and do. There are also many restaurants all over the city that you can enjoy, whilst pubs and bars can be found in most neighbourhoods. You can catch a night flight on the London Eye, take a night or evening cruise, or watch a show in the West End. Plus, the Underground runs until late, and on Fridays and Saturdays, some of the Underground lines run a 24-hour service, so you can get back to your hotel with ease no matter what time of night. And another reason to visit London is for the free things to do. So London can be incredibly expensive when you factor in flights and hotels, but you can certainly save money by visiting the free things to do in London. We actually have a whole video sharing our favourite free attractions here, but we recommend heading up to the Sky Garden for incredible views of London from above. Visit one of the many free museums, explore the markets in the city, and then relax in the parks. So let's begin with the best time to visit. The weather in the UK can be unpredictable, making it hard to plan a trip with the perfect weather and temperature. Personally, we think the best time to visit London is in May, June and September. This is when the weather is warm, but the city isn't as busy as the summer months. April is also a good time to visit if you can avoid the Easter holidays, but also bring an umbrella. April showers is a real thing in the UK. Winter can be a magical time in London as long as you wrap up warm. There are plenty of festive things to see and do, whilst hotel rates are lower at the start of December and throughout January and February. So now let's look at getting there. Many international visitors arrive in London via London Heathrow or London Gatwick. Between them, you can find direct flights from most cities in Europe, as well as the major cities in North America and some cities in Asia and Africa. From Heathrow, you can catch the Underground train to central London, whilst Gatwick offers a direct train route to London Victoria in the heart of the city. If you are travelling around the UK, you could also use the National Express coach services or Megabus to visit the city from other destinations in the UK, whilst the Eurostar connects the city to destinations in France, the Netherlands and Belgium. So now let's look at getting around. The Underground and bus system are the cheapest transportation options in the city. There is often Underground train stations within a 5-minute walk of most major attractions, whilst the bus services are great for those looking to see the city as they travel. Alternatively, you could get yourself a sightseeing bus ticket. These are great for those visiting the city for just a few days. There is also a bike hiring scheme that allows you to rent a bike for 30 minutes at a time, and you could also choose to take a boat along the Thames, with the Thames Clippers boat offering a hop-on, hop-off pass. We will leave the link in the description below. So now let's look at typical prices. London can be an expensive place to explore, so make sure to budget your trip carefully. Dorm beds can be found from £30 in the off-season, and these are a great option for budget travellers. Budget rooms and apartment rentals begin at around £120 a night, whilst 4-star rooms begin at £170 and 5-star rooms begin at £350. Food prices continue to rise in the UK, so expect to spend at least £5 on a simple breakfast or coffee. There are some great brunch options in the city with dishes from £8, whilst a fast food meal begins at £5. A pub lunch with a pint starts at £10, and a sit-down 3-course meal can be found for around £30 per person, but this really can range depending on your location. So plan ahead, check menus online, especially if you're travelling on a budget. And for those who are visiting on a budget, here are some ways that you can save money in London too. London isn't short of fast food spots, chain restaurants, bakeries and grocery stores, so make sure to use these to eat on a budget. Stick to taking the underground to get around, and if you do need to use a taxi, either use Uber or make sure the black cabs have turned on their meter. Get yourself the London City Pass to save money on attractions as well as public transport. We will leave the link in the description below, but you can use this pass to get discounts on activities and tours that aren't included in the pass as well. There are plenty of free things to do in London, so spend your days heading to the free museums, explore the neighbourhoods and food markets, find street art in Shoreditch, and check out the Columbia Road Flower Market. We have a whole guide about the free things to do in London over on our website Creative Travel Guide, so we will leave the link in the description below. So now let's look at the best things to do. London is jam-packed with attractions for everyone. Jump on the London Eye for fantastic views of the city, then head over to see the Houses of Parliament and Big Ben. Take a stroll through Hyde Park and then admire Buckingham Palace. If you time your visit just right, you can even catch the changing of the guards. Visit one of the many historic sites such as the Tower of London or the Globe Theatre, then make sure to visit at least one museum. Our favourite museums are the British Museum, the Natural History Museum, the V&A Museum and the Imperial War Museum. Art lovers need to head over to the Tate Modern, foodies should enjoy an afternoon tea or two, and those musically inclined need to see at least one West End show. So firstly, there are so many things to see and do in London that we could be here all day talking about it, but this is just the top 10 best things to do based on our opinion. To begin, we have Westminster. Home to Parliament and the famous Big Ben, Westminster is a fantastic place to begin a trip to London. Big Ben itself is the name of the bell housed within the well-known clock tower, and it chimes every hour on the hour. You can also find statues of important political figures in Parliament Square and visit Westminster Abbey nearby. After visiting the politicians, why not spend time with royalty? Buckingham Palace is one of the most iconic sites in the city and is a wonderful insight into the British monarchy. During the summer, you can take a tour of the staterooms, and all year round you can catch the changing of the guard ceremony. This runs at 11 AM daily in the summer and on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays and Sundays outside of the summer. For incredible views of the city, jump onto the London Eye. This is a giant Ferris wheel offering incredible views both during the day and night. Plus, tickets can be paired up with other attractions in the city too, including the famous London Aquarium. One of my favourite things to do whenever we are back in the UK is to head to the West End. There are many incredible shows here for all types of travellers. For a blast from the past, head to the West End in 2022 and watch Grease the Musical or My Fair Lady. Families can enjoy Matilda or The Lion King. Those that are looking for spectacular costuming, singing and dance, head to Wicked. And for something different, check out the Legally Blonde musical. There are so many amazing shows on offer, so make sure to spend at least one night in the West End. Then we have a Thames cruise. The Thames is often underestimated, but it is in fact the second longest river in the UK and what brought industry to the city for centuries. Nowadays you can take all sorts of cruises along the famous river whilst doing a bit of sightseeing along the way. Then we have Piccadilly Circus. For bright lights and electronic screens, head to Piccadilly Circus, the Times Square of London. This has been a busy commercial hub since the 17th century and can be found at the heart of the West End. This area is surrounded by theatres, stores and restaurants. Another popular spot in London is Leicester Square. This area is famous for hosting film premieres, but is also full of restaurants, street performers and interactive stores. You could also visit the nearby Chinatown for a tasty bite to eat. Then we have museums. London is full of museums and the best part is most of them are free. The Natural History Museum offers an amazing fossil collection of dinosaurs and other animals. The Science Museum is an interactive choice and fantastic for those with children, whilst the V&A Museum focuses on the culture and history of the country. History lovers should visit the British Museum or the Imperial War Museum, and art lovers should head to the National Gallery or the Tate Modern. Then we have the Tower of London. London's iconic castle, the Tower of London, is a must-visit whilst in the city. Explore the fortress and visit the crown jewels, but also look out for the ravens. It is said that if the birds ever left, the tower would fall. And then we have Warner Brothers Studio. For Harry Potter fans, you have to head to the Warner Brothers Studio Tour in Watford. This is a short train journey away from London itself, but gives you an incredible insight into the making of Harry Potter. Walk through the sets, see the props, and learn about how the magic of the wizarding world was brought to life. So firstly, let's talk about the currency. So the UK uses the Great British Pound, and very few shops accept anything other than the pound or card payments. Money can be withdrawn from any ATM, but to avoid transaction charges, head to an ATM outside a chain supermarket or a bank. Some hotels and larger stores in London city centre may accept the euro. So now let's talk about the weather. So the weather in London can be unpredictable. November through to March is fairly cold and windy. June to August is warm and sunny most of the time, but incredibly crowded. April, May, September and October give temperatures around 14 to 20 degrees and is my favourite time to head into the city. Regardless of when you visit, bring an umbrella. It can and will randomly rain at any given point. London is also a great place to visit at Christmas time, but make sure to wrap up warm. So on that note, when to visit London? So London gets very busy during the school holidays. Through the months of July and August, the queues can be unbearable, as is the Christmas events during the week leading up to Christmas. Avoid these times if possible, as well as the Easter half-term break, which tends to fall around April. London is one of those cities that is always busy, but to get the best weather and least crowds, September or June are great times to explore. So now let's talk about the Underground. So if it's your first time in London, the Underground can be slightly daunting, but it is by far the best way to get around the city. Taxis are too expensive, buses are too slow, and the city is far too big to spend all day walking around. Instead, pick up an Oyster card, use the machines at the Underground stations to top it up, and download the London Underground map onto your phone to help you navigate your way around the city. The TfL website also gives you specific directions from one attraction to another and tells you exactly where you need to change or get off at. So now let's talk about the cost of London. London is expensive. Unfortunately, it is just one of those cities that is very pricey. Expect to pay at least £100 a night for a budget private room and at least £4 for a pint of beer, £7 for a lunch at a cafe, and upwards of £25 per person for a meal. To see all of the historic sites, we recommend you plan at least 4 days in London, which will cost you around £600 for those on a budget, not including travel to and from the city. So London is expensive, but there are ways you can save money. Stick to using the Underground to get around, stay in hostels, and pick up the London City Pass to visit the paid attractions for discounted prices. There are also plenty of free things to do in London as well. We have a whole blog post about the free attractions to explore and enjoy in the city over on our website Creative Travel Guide, but make sure to visit places like Trafalgar Square and Covent Garden or the many museums. These are all free and a great way to explore the city. So now let's talk about accommodation. So firstly, make sure to book your hotel or hostel in advance. London is not the type of place that you can show up and walk into a hotel unless you want to be charged triple the prices of booking.com. If you are looking to save some money, check out budget chains like Travelodge, Premier Inn or Ibis. Just make sure to check reviews online before you go, because chain hotels in London can be hit or miss. Wherever you stay, we recommend finding a place near an underground station so that you can get into the city centre quickly and affordably. So now let's look at food in London. So there are a few must-eats when you visit the UK, and London offers them all. Book yourself an afternoon tea at one of the fancy hotels, go to a small local cafe for a full English breakfast, and don't forget to try fish and chips. Head to London Borough Market for local and fusion food items, and make sure to head to a pub at least once in your trip for a traditional pub lunch. And on to my favourite part, the things to do in London. Of course, there are so many things to do in London. The most popular attractions include seeing the Big Ben, watching the changing of the guards at Buckingham Palace, exploring the Tower of London, or you could shop till you drop on Oxford Street. So firstly, do not plan your trip as you go. There is a lot of sights to see in London and a lot of attractions spread across the city. To save time and money, make sure to plan your days out to avoid too much travelling across the city and organise the best route for you. For example, you may want to plan a trip to see Big Ben before you take a trip on the London Eye, whilst a visit to the Tower of London could be paired with a walk across Tower Bridge or a visit to the Shard. Next, do not avoid the tube. So getting around the city using the underground can be confusing, but do not avoid it. It is by far the quickest way to get around the city, especially during rush hour. Plus, trips are more affordable than a taxi ride. Get yourself a copy of the Underground map or download a London Underground app to plan out your route. Next, don't forget to buy tickets online. Many attractions will offer discounted tickets when you book in advance online. This not only saves you money, but can also save you time once you are at the attraction. The next thing to remember in London is do not forget your manners. Brits are all about their manners, so don't forget your please and thank yous, and always make sure to arrive on time when taking part in a tour or for a restaurant reservation. The UK has different plug sockets to the US and Europe with a free pin outlet. Make sure to bring an adapter with you or pick one up from the airport. Forgetting one can definitely be a pain. The next thing to not do is do not avoid the local food. So Britain isn't exactly known for its delicate cuisine, but you still need to try the local food. Head to a traditional English pub for bangers and mash, enjoy a Sunday roast, and of course, get yourself an English breakfast. You can also try fish and chips in London too. Next, do not forget your umbrella. London's weather is temperamental. One moment it can be glorious sunshine and the next it will rain. Make sure to always have a small umbrella with you for those spontaneous bursts, no matter what season you are visiting in. Also, do not forget to carry extra change. If you have a long day ahead of you travelling around the city, make sure to have some extra change with you. Some public bathrooms in London will charge a small fee for using them, especially at train stations. Make sure to have some change so that you don't get caught out. Next, do not miss out on afternoon tea. Many tourists will see afternoon tea as an excessive luxury that isn't needed, but trust me, it really is needed. Head to one of the many nice hotels or afternoon tea spots in the city and enjoy some sweet and savoury delights, along with a vast selection of teas. Also, do not miss the museums. London is home to some incredible museums that you must visit. Luckily, many of these museums are free and definitely worth exploring. Do not miss the British Museum, the Museum of London, the Imperial War Museum, or the Victoria and Albert Museum. Art lovers should head to the Tate Modern or the National Gallery. So firstly, let's talk about public transportation. The best way to get around London is to use the public transportation to save some money, but also make sure to get yourself an Oyster card or use a contactless debit or credit card to get around. This will make it easier but also more affordable. If you are planning to use the underground or buses a lot during your time, maybe check out the daily or weekly travel card for unlimited rides within selected zones. Another tip is to take advantage of the free attractions. One of the best things about London is that many of its world-famous museums and galleries are completely free. You can marvel at ancient artifacts at the British Museum, admire classic masterpieces at the National Gallery, and explore contemporary art at the Tate Modern. We have a full list of the best free things to do in London over on our website, Creative Travel Guide. We will leave the link to that in the description below. Our next tip is to stay in areas outside of central London. Accommodation prices are highest in zones 1 and 2, but staying a little further out can save you a significant amount. For example, some parts of zone 3 and 4, like Wimbledon and Richmond, provide cheaper accommodation while still allowing easy access to central London. The next thing we recommend you do whilst you are in London to save some money is to enjoy the free parks and gardens. London is home to some of the most beautiful parks and gardens in the world, many of which are free to visit. If you are travelling into London from another destination in the country, why not check out the 2-for-1 train offers? The National Rail's Days Out Guide offers 2-for-1 entry to many popular attractions, including the Tower of London, London Dungeons, and Madame Tussauds. To qualify, you can print a voucher from the website and show your valid train ticket into the city to save some money. We will leave a link to that website in the description below. Another way to visit London on a budget is to get cheap theatre tickets. The West End is known for its world-class theatre productions, but tickets can definitely be expensive. To get discounted tickets, you could visit the ticket booth in Leicester Square, which sells same-day tickets at reduced prices. It is also possible to head to the theatre of your chosen show early in the morning, around 10 AM, to see if they have any tickets on sale that day. You can also check out websites like Today Tickets or Love Theatre for last-minute deals. Again, any of these websites we mention, we will leave in the description below. Another way to save some money is to stay in budget accommodation. So hostels like YHA London, Generator Hostel or Clink 78 offer budget-friendly dorm beds and private rooms. This can be a great way to save some money in the city, especially if you are travelling solo. If you are looking for a private room, we recommend checking out the budget chains like Premier Inn and Travelodge, which often have great deals, especially if you book in advance and visit in the off-season. Our next tip is to eat at markets and street food stalls. Dining out in London can be costly, but you can enjoy fantastic food at lower prices by visiting the street markets. Borough Market and Camden Market are a great place to try international and local food, while Box Park in Shoreditch has trendy food vendors, and the South Bank Centre Market serves delicious bites with a great riverside atmosphere. You can also take advantage of the free walking tours here. Companies like Free Tours by Foot offer free walking tours covering different aspects of London's history and culture. There are various themed tours in the city like street art or Jack the Ripper walks, but make sure to tip your guide as well. Buying food from supermarkets for meals instead of eating out is another great way to save some money. Buy affordable foods from supermarkets like Tesco's or Sainsbury's, where you can get some great meal deals for affordable prices. This is an excellent way to save money, especially on breakfast and lunch. You should also check out the free events and festivals throughout the year. The Notting Hill Carnival in August is a vibrant celebration of Caribbean culture with music, dancing and street food. The Chinese New Year Parade and Diwali celebrations in Trafalgar Square. If you are visiting during the winter time, you can also enjoy the free events and festivals and markets that happen throughout the city during the build-up to Christmas. Another great way to save some money is by taking a public bus for sightseeing instead of the hop-on, hop-off tours. So we love those sightseeing buses, but in London we have red double-decker buses that do just the same for a fraction of the price. The number 24 bus travels through key landmarks like Westminster Abbey, Trafalgar Square and Camden, while the number 15 bus passes landmarks like St Paul's Cathedral and the Tower of London. Another great way to save some money is by enjoying the free views of the city. Instead of paying for the London Eye or the Shard, enjoy breathtaking city views for free. The Sky Garden, located at 20 Fenchurch Street, offers a stunning observation deck with a lush indoor garden. Just be sure to book in advance. One of the easiest and most popular day trips from London is to the picturesque university town of Cambridge. This town is surrounded by stunning, beautiful scenery that is the perfect backdrop to the cobbled streets, parks, museums and university buildings. Cambridge is a pedestrian-friendly city and, being only just over an hour from London, offers the perfect escape from the cosmopolitan capital. Needless to say, the university colleges are a must-do. Visitors flock to King's College, Christ College and Trinity College, as well as Queen's College with its iconic mathematical bridge. There are walk-in tours available and you're advised to take one to learn more about their construction, history and most famous students. You could also enjoy a traditional punt along the River Cam or head to one of the many interesting museums in Cambridge. If you have visited Cambridge and you still haven't had enough of those traditional university towns, then head to Oxford. The University of Oxford is one of the most prestigious universities in the world. And there are a lot of landmarks to visit in this beautiful city too. There are over 1,500 listed buildings showcasing just about every period of English architecture after the 7th century. Beyond the architecture, make sure to visit the museums and enjoy plenty of tasty meals at the traditional pubs in the city. You can easily get around Oxford and it is just an hour away from London, making it the ideal day trip. Next we have Bath. As the only UK city protected by UNESCO, Bath is one of the destinations that you can't miss whilst you are in the UK. Bath is known around the world for its well-preserved remains of Roman baths and because of the plenty of things it has to offer. Of course, you will need to start your trip by visiting the Roman Baths complex. This will take you through the bath house, the Roman temple, the museum and the sacred spring. Lastly, make sure to visit the Royal Crescent before trying some local food and heading back to London. The next best day trip from London is Stonehenge. Chances are that no matter where in the world you are from, you have heard about the prehistoric monument Stonehenge. This iconic landmark consists of stones placed in a circle that has fascinated and baffled people for many, many years. You should bear in mind that there isn't much else to do here apart from this captivating structure, so head to the nearby city of Salisbury where you can see the Salisbury Cathedral and visit the Old Sarum. This site is 5,000 years old and it is one of the most iconic attractions in England, so we highly recommend that you catch a train or drive from London or join one of the many tours available from the city. Next we have the Cotswolds. Around a 2-hour drive away from London, this is a picturesque destination. Proclaimed as an area of outstanding natural beauty, the main characteristics of this rural landscape is the distinctive golden coloured Cotswold stone of which the villages are built from. It spans over several counties and makes for a relaxing and unique visit whilst you are in the UK. That being said, it is impossible to truly explore all of it in just one day, so if you have the time, we recommend you spend at least a weekend in the Cotswolds. Then we have Windsor. Located in Berkshire, around 35 kilometres from central London, Windsor is a popular day trip from the city. Windsor Castle is the unmissable attraction here, as it is the longest occupied palace in Europe that dates back to the 6th century. But LEGO fans have another important reason to visit Windsor, Legoland. As one of the 10 most visited theme parks in Europe, Legoland is an unmissable highlight for families. There are rides, shows, and plenty of shops that will keep everybody happy and entertained. Then we have Canterbury. Canterbury is an important historic English city and is one of the oldest ones in the UK. Depicted in Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, its most famous site is the protected Canterbury Cathedral, but the city has plenty of ancient buildings that contribute to its charming atmosphere. We recommend you visit the city walls, the West Gate, the Roman Museum and the Crooked House. Canterbury is one of Britain's most famous religious cities. It's here where Thomas Becket was infamously murdered, and it became a site of pilgrimage since then. So firstly we have the Tower of London. The Tower of London is one of the UK's most iconic landmarks, steeped in nearly 1,000 years of history. As you explore this UNESCO World Heritage Site, you'll uncover tales of royal intrigue, imprisonment and execution. Make sure to stop by the Crown Jewels, a dazzling collection which is still used by the British monarchy today. The Tower of London, as well as many other attractions on this list, is included in the London Pass, a fantastic attraction pass that can get you discounted entrance to many of the attractions in London. We will leave the link to that in the description below. Next on your UK bucket list has to be the Roman Baths. Step back in time at the Roman Baths, one of the best preserved ancient sites in the UK. Located in the picturesque romantic city of Bath, you need to take a tour of these naturally heated pools still fed by thermal springs. Explore the museum to see fascinating artifacts including Roman coins and statues, and also get the audio guide to learn even more about the city's past. Next, head up to Edinburgh to see Edinburgh Castle. Perched atop Castle Rock, Edinburgh Castle dominates the skyline of Scotland's capital and is another must-see on your UK bucket list. This historic fortress has been a royal residence, military stronghold and a symbol of Scottish power for centuries. Inside, you can explore the Crown Jewels of Scotland, the Stone of Destiny and the National War Museum. Stretching across northern England is Hadrian's Wall, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that makes for a unique visit when exploring these UK bucket list sites. The wall spans from the North Sea to the Irish Sea, and today you can walk along sections of the wall. Whilst visiting, you can also explore the Roman forts and the Roman Army Museum. Next, we head back down to London to visit the British Museum. The British Museum is a treasure trove of global history and culture, housing over 8 million objects. From the Rosetta Stone to the Elgin marbles, the museum's vast collection spans millennia and continents, and is one of the most fascinating museums in London and arguably the world. As you wander through the galleries, you'll encounter ancient Egyptian mummies, Greek sculptures, and artifacts from across the world. Plus, this museum is completely free, ideal for those visiting the UK on a budget. Next, we have the Lake District. The Lake District is a region of breathtaking natural beauty characterised by its serene lakes and charming villages. Whether you are an avid hiker, a poet seeking inspiration, or simply someone who loves picturesque landscapes, the Lake District is for you. Of course, we can't talk about the UK bucket list without mentioning Stonehenge. Stonehenge is one of the world's most famous prehistoric monuments and an incredibly popular place to visit in the UK. As a symbol of Britain's ancient past, the stones date over 4,500 years ago, but still is shrouded in mystery, so make sure to read up about the monument before visiting. Then visit the oldest and largest inhabited castle in the world, Windsor Castle. This is still a working royal residence, but you can take a tour of the incredible castle or appreciate it from the outside. If you are visiting Windsor, we also recommend visiting Legoland Windsor as well, ideal for families. We have a blog post about the best rides at Legoland and how to visit it over on our website Theme Park 24/7. I will leave the link to that in the description below. Then for idyllic villages and rolling hills, head to the Cotswolds. Perfect for those that enjoy country walks, leisurely drives, and discovering charming towns, this is the ideal place to visit for couples and families. There are plenty of things to do here as well, including castles and palaces, as well as quaint tea rooms. The next thing on your UK bucket list has to be the Houses of Parliament. So the Houses of Parliament, also known as the Palace of Westminster, is the heart of British politics and is also home to one of the most iconic landmarks in London, the Clock Tower, which houses the bell nicknamed Big Ben. You can book a guided tour which takes you through the historic chambers where the UK's laws are debated and passed, or you can walk along the Thames to appreciate the architecture and of course take your photo with the famous clock tower. For art enthusiasts, London is the place to be. The National Gallery is another must-visit on your UK bucket list, home to one of the finest collections of Western European paintings in the world. Located in Trafalgar Square, just heading to the square and taking a picture from the front is also very popular, especially for those with just a few days. But if you do have the time, make sure to head inside the gallery itself with a collection that spans over 700 years, from the Middle Ages to the 20th century. Of course, when we talk about the UK bucket list, we can't forget Northern Ireland. Whilst in Northern Ireland, you should head to the Giant's Causeway. This is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, famous for its unique columns formed by volcanic activity millions of years ago. Visitors can explore the site via walking trails that offer stunning views of the coastline, but also head to the visitor centre, which provides insights into the folklore of this extraordinary landscape. York is a fascinating city which is often overlooked, but the York Minster is a must on your UK bucket list. This is one of the largest and most beautiful Gothic cathedrals in Europe, offering stunning stained glass windows, intricate stone carvings, and towering spires. Another iconic place to visit in the UK is the University of Oxford. This is the oldest university in the English-speaking world, with a history dating back over 900 years. You can take a tour of the university's historic colleges, which offer a glimpse into the world of academia. You can also visit areas of the university which was used in and inspired parts of the Harry Potter movies. Next, we head back to London to see the Natural History Museum. This is a must-see for those visiting London, especially with kids. The museum's collection spans billions of years, from dinosaur skeletons to the latest discoveries in science. The museum is a free attraction, and we have a whole blog post about the best free things to do in London over on our website Creative Travel Guide. I will leave the link to that in the description below. Which brings me on to another free thing to do in the UK and another must on your UK bucket list, visiting Buckingham Palace. Buckingham Palace is an iconic symbol of Britain, and you can either see the outside of the palace or head inside for a tour. Visitors can tour the lavish staterooms, which are open to the public during the summer months. If you aren't able to take the tour, try not to miss the changing of the guards ceremony, when the famous palace guards change over. Next, you can step back in time in Blackpool. Visiting Blackpool is like stepping into a vibrant, nostalgic world of seaside entertainment. Known as one of the UK's most iconic seaside resorts, Blackpool offers everything fun about the UK. Arcades, fish and chips, and plenty of seaside attractions. Then we have the Scottish Highlands. This is a beautiful region known for its dramatic peaks of Ben Nevis and the tranquil shores of Loch Ness. The Highlands are a paradise for outdoor lovers and perfect for the summer. You can hike through the wild terrain, visit the historic castles here, and then explore the charming villages. The region is also rich in folklore, with tales of clans, battles, and mythical creatures like the Loch Ness Monster. Another UK bucket list must is visiting the Tate Modern, especially those who love art. This is one of the world's leading contemporary art museums, housed in a former power station on the banks of the River Thames. The museum's vast collection includes works by artists such as Pablo Picasso and Andy Warhol. The White Cliffs of Dover are an iconic symbol of Britain and another UK bucket list must. Kent is a picturesque region to visit, so spending time in the area can be a great way to enjoy a romantic break or countryside trip. Enjoy the walking trails, but also see the variety of wildlife located here, including rare plants and birds. You could also visit the nearby Dover Castle, which has guarded the coastline for over 900 years. The Jurassic Coast is a UNESCO World Heritage Site located in Dorset. With rocks that date back over 185 million years, this is a fascinating historic region to visit. Make sure to see the stunning rock formations of Durdledore and Old Harry Rocks. Now, something for families or big kids at heart, make sure to visit the Harry Potter Studio Tour in Watford. Whenever we return back to the UK, this is the #1 thing that we head to. The Studio Tour is truly a magical experience, which takes you behind the scenes of the iconic Harry Potter movies, with a chance to see the sets, costumes, and props. You can walk through the impressive Great Hall, explore Diagon Alley, and see the creatures of the Forbidden Forest. Then we recommend exploring the music history of Liverpool. Liverpool is famously the birthplace of the Beatles, and the city proudly celebrates its rich musical heritage. Start your journey at the Beatles Story Museum, located on the Albert Dock, where you can explore exhibits that detail the band's rise to global fame. The Cavern Club itself is located on Matthew Street and is another must-visit. This legendary venue is where the Beatles played nearly 300 times and is still a vibrant live music venue today. Beyond the Beatles, the British music experience is also worth visiting, offering an immersive journey through the history of British music from the 1940s to present day. Located in the heart of London, sat along the Thames River, is the London Eye, another iconic landmark in the UK. Ride on this gigantic Ferris wheel, which offers breathtaking panoramic views of the city's skyline. This 30-minute ride will offer views of the famous landmarks like the Houses of Parliament, St Paul's Cathedral, and much more. Lastly, we also recommend you climb Mount Snowdon. Visiting and climbing the highest peak in Wales is an unforgettable adventure for outdoor enthusiasts. Located in Snowdonia National Park, this majestic mountain rises 1,085 metres above sea level and offers a variety of paths to the summit, each with its own level of difficulty and scenic charm. So firstly, let's look at the best time to visit. The best time to visit Edinburgh is from June to August. The weather is warm and the city is full of life. There are plenty of festivals that run through August too. Winter is cold in Scotland, but you can save money on low season hotel prices and enjoy the New Year's celebrations, Hogmanay. Spring can see quite a bit of rain, but autumn is a great time to visit if you don't mind the milder weather, but are looking for fewer crowds. So now let's look at getting there. For international travellers, you will likely fly into Edinburgh, with direct flights available from New York, Chicago and Toronto, as well as various destinations in Europe. From the airport, you can take a train or bus or catch a taxi into the city centre. The National Rail offers train journeys from other major cities in the UK, including Glasgow, Liverpool, Newcastle and Manchester. Budget travellers could also use Megabus to travel to Edinburgh. Just book tickets in advance for the best prices. So now let's look at getting around. Edinburgh isn't a huge city, so plenty of attractions can be explored by foot, especially if you are staying near the Royal Mile. For attractions on the outskirts of the city, you can use the public buses. These are frequent and run 24 hours a day. The tram has 15 stops along one route and links to the airport, whilst taxis are available at reasonable prices. So now let's look at the typical prices. There are a handful of great hostels in Edinburgh, with dorm beds starting at £15 and private rooms costing around £100. Mid-range hotels begin around £140, whilst 5-star hotels begin at £200 a night. A quick breakfast will cost £5, whilst a sit-down brunch costs around £10. If you are visiting on a budget, then you can pick up meal deals for lunch from most supermarkets, costing under £5, whilst a pub dinner begins at £15 with a main and a beer. The UK can be an expensive place to visit, but there are ways to save money in Edinburgh. Firstly, check out the free sites. The National Gallery of Scotland, the National Museum of Scotland, and Arthur's Seat are all popular free attractions that you can visit. There are also free walking tours that can be found in warmer months. There are plenty of parks and outdoor attractions in Edinburgh, with places like Princes Street Gardens being a great place to relax and unwind, but also enjoy an affordable picnic. If you don't want to visit the Fringe Festival, then don't head here in the month of August. The Fringe Festival is the largest arts festival in the world and runs for 3 weeks each August, making accommodation prices super high. Stick to budget hotels or use Airbnb or HomeAway to save money on accommodation too. And take advantage of the cheap eats. The Asian restaurants in Edinburgh offer great value meals, and pubs are the best place to enjoy traditional Scottish cuisine at affordable prices. So now let's look at the best things to do. Edinburgh has plenty of great sites worth exploring on your trip. Of course, we have to start with the Edinburgh Castle. Perched atop Castle Rock, the castle overlooks the city and is the main attraction here. Head up Arthur's Seat for the best views of Edinburgh, then learn more about Scotland at the National Museum of Scotland. For more history, climb to the top of Calton Hill and see the National Monument, but also take a trip out of the city to visit Blackness Castle, a 15th century castle and former prison. Families can enjoy Camera Obscura and the World of Illusions, whilst couples will love a romantic walk through the Old Town. So firstly, let's look at the best time to visit Liverpool. The best and most popular time to visit Liverpool is during the summer. This is the warmest time of the year and there are plenty of festivals and events going on. It is busier, so expect crowds and higher hotel prices, but also enjoy the sunshine and vibrant atmosphere. Spring and autumn are also good months to visit with fewer crowds, but winter can be damp and cold. However, visiting Liverpool on the lead up to Christmas can be a fun, festive experience. So now let's look at getting there. If you are based in the UK, the easiest way to reach Liverpool is via train or bus. The main railway station in Liverpool is Lime Street, so you can catch a train from other major cities in the UK, including London, Manchester, Edinburgh and Birmingham. If you book in advance and take advantage of the deals, you can get yourself an affordable bus trip to Liverpool. National Express and Megabus offer trips to Liverpool from various cities across the UK, with Megabus sometimes offering flash deals with journeys starting from £1. If you are travelling from outside of the UK, you can fly into the Liverpool John Lennon Airport, which connects to major cities in Europe. If you are flying from the US, you could choose to fly into London, spend a few days exploring London, and then take a train or bus from London to Liverpool. So now let's look at getting around. Liverpool city centre is a compact destination, so it is easy to walk around to see the sights. Stay near the waterfront and walk to the major attractions, shops, restaurants and landmarks. If you are visiting the suburbs, you can use the Mersey Rail to reach places like Chester and the Wirral. You could take the Mersey ferries to explore the waterfront and move between the Liverpool Pier Head and Woodside. Taxis are also readily available across the city, as are bicycle rentals. You could also choose to drive around Liverpool, but parking is limited and expensive. So now let's look at the typical prices. Hostels and budget-friendly rooms on the outskirts of the city begin at around £40, whilst mid-range rooms range from £50 to £90 a night. More spacious and luxurious options begin at around £120, but of course these prices will be higher on the weekends. Breakfast and lunch can be found from under £15, whilst a sit-down meal ranges between £20 to £50. There are also plenty of ways to save money in Liverpool too. Liverpool has plenty of free attractions to take advantage of, from the Albert Dock and the historic Pier Head to the numerous parks and gardens. The museums and galleries in Liverpool offer free admission days and times, whilst the Liverpool Pass is a great option for those looking to save money when visiting multiple attractions, including the British Music Experience and the Beatles. Stick to the public transportation to save money and eat and drink at the cafes and pubs rather than the sit-down restaurants in the busy areas. There are also plenty of happy hour specials along Matthew Street, so take advantage of these too. So now let's look at some of the best things to do in Liverpool. Begin your trip by visiting the Beatles Story, an impressive, immersive, interactive museum that takes you through the lives of the famous band. Explore the Albert Dock, a historic UNESCO World Heritage Site, and don't miss the museums located here like the Tate Liverpool and the Merseyside Maritime Museum. Take a ferry across the Mersey to see the city from the waters and then marvel at the stunning architecture of the Liverpool Cathedral. Take a tour of Anfield Stadium, home to the Liverpool Football Club, and then enjoy the nightlife along Matthew Street. There are plenty of amazing museums to explore in Liverpool, with the World Museum Liverpool being one of our favourites and the Walker Art Gallery being an impressive place for art lovers. You could also visit the Cavern Club and take a guided Beatles tour around the city to learn about their lives growing up in Liverpool. So firstly, we have the Albert Dock. The Albert Dock in Liverpool stands as a testament to the city's rich maritime history. The waterfront complex, which opened in 1846, now houses a collection of museums, galleries, shops and restaurants. It is a must-visit place to head to in Liverpool, especially if you are visiting in those warmer months. Many of us have heard of the famous band The Beatles, and their story began in Liverpool. Located on the Albert Dock, the Beatles Story Museum is an immersive museum that takes visitors on a chronological journey through the rise of John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison and Ringo Starr. With an impressive audio tour, authentic memorabilia and multimedia exhibits, this museum is one of our favourite things to do in Liverpool. Admission to the Beatles Story exhibit is included in the Liverpool one-day pass, so you can see some of the best attractions while saving some money. We'll leave the link to that in the description below. If you love the Beatles, then continue your trip with a visit to the Cavern Club, the birthplace of Beatlemania and a vibrant music scene in the 1960s. Located on Matthew Street, it is a must-visit for fans to see the venue in which the Beatles rose to fame. Then we have the Anfield Stadium Tour. If you are new to the UK, you will quickly learn how important football is to residents here, and that couldn't be more true in Liverpool. There are actually 2 Premier League football teams in the Liverpool area, but the Anfield Stadium Tour is a must-do for Liverpool FC fans. The tour offers a behind-the-scene glimpse into the history of the club, whilst taking you through the players' tunnel and into the dressing rooms. You can see team memorabilia and trophies, learning more about the football history of the country as well. Then we have nightlife in Matthew Street. Liverpool is a fun place to visit even when the sun sets. Matthew Street is nestled in the heart of Liverpool and offers a variety of nightlife options for you to enjoy. Whether you want to head to the pubs, clubs, karaoke bars or live music venues, there's plenty to choose from. Standing along the waterfront, the Museum of Liverpool offers a captivating look into the city and its people. The building itself is a striking modern architectural piece, but the museum serves as a reminder of Liverpool's cultural heritage. Through interactive installations, artifacts, and engaging displays, you can learn about the city's past, including its maritime history and the significance of Liverpool's port. Another great place to visit in Liverpool is Tate Liverpool. If you are an art enthusiast, head to Tate Liverpool, located in the Albert Dock. This showcases contemporary artwork and is housed in a converted warehouse. Another interesting museum in the city is the Liverpool Maritime Museum. Learn about the city's maritime legacy at the museum, which showcases the crucial role Liverpool played in the global trade and shipping over the centuries. Whilst exploring this fascinating museum, you can also learn about naval warfare and the role of Liverpool in building the Titanic. Here you can find intricate ship models and artifacts, as well as stories from sailors and captains. This is a unique museum to visit in Liverpool. You could also visit the British Music Experience. This is the UK's only museum dedicated to celebrating British music, with an unrivaled collection of memorabilia, stage outfits, instruments, images, and footage. The museum showcases the beginnings, rise, and influence of British pop music from 1945 to present day. It also showcases outfits worn by all types of artists, from David Bowie to the Spice Girls. Entrance to the British Museum Experience is included in that one-day Liverpool pass we mentioned before. Again, the link to that is in the description. The World Museum is the oldest museum in Liverpool, but showcases incredible objects from around the world. From antiques to natural history, you can expect a diverse collection of artifacts and exhibits here, which is great for the whole family. This is also a free museum in Liverpool, ideal for those visiting the city on a budget. So of course we begin with London. The capital city is a must visit, with iconic landmarks like the Tower of London and Buckingham Palace. Head up the Shard for incredible views of the city, or enjoy one of my favourite 3 things to do in London by visiting the Sky Garden. Also free are the many museums located in the city, with our favourite being the Natural History Museum, the British Museum, and seeing the evolution of fashion and art at the V&A Museum. Check out a show in the West End, explore Covent Garden, and get shopping along Oxford Street. For one of the most romantic cities to visit in England, head to Bath. Known for its Roman baths and Georgian architecture, Bath is a charming city to explore. After visiting the Roman baths themselves, appreciate the architecture at Bath Abbey and the Royal Crescent, enjoy a modern spa experience, visit the Jane Austen Centre, and then take a boat trip along the river. Known for its medieval architecture, York is home to the impressive York Minster, narrow winding streets, and well-preserved city walls. Visit the many museums here like the York Castle Museum and the National Railway Museum, but also delve into the sweet history of chocolate at York's Chocolate Story. Then, known for its industrial heritage and football culture, Manchester is a northern city in England, loved by many. Head to the Northern Quarter to enjoy the nightlife here after spending your days visiting the Museum of Science and Industry or the National Football Museum. However, there are 2 main reasons that people head to Manchester: Manchester City and Manchester United. You can visit both stadiums for the different teams, as well as take a behind-the-scenes tour, ideal for fans of either club. Then we have Liverpool, home to the famous Albert Dock, the Beatles Story exhibit, and popular waterfront area. This is another vibrant place to explore. Learn about the city at the Museum of Liverpool, admire the Liverpool Cathedral, and then unwind and enjoy the music scene at the Cavern Club. Similar to Manchester, many choose to head to a Liverpool FC or Everton FC game here, not too far from the city centre, but make sure to head to Matthew Street afterwards for some post-game drinks. Oxford is known for its prestigious university and historic architecture, making it another great city to visit in England. Beyond taking a tour of the university itself, you can also head to Oxford Castle and Prison, Pitt Rivers Museum, or take a Harry Potter tour to see some of the filming spots in the city. Visit in the summer to explore the Oxford Botanic Garden, or head here in the winter to see the Christmas markets and decorations. Another historic university city is Cambridge. Similar to Oxford, you can take a tour of the university to see the impressive architecture, but also punt along the River Cam. The Fitzwilliam Museum is famous for its beautiful artifacts and art from around the world, housing over 500,000 objects. This is one of the best things that you can do in Cambridge. Brighton is a fun, vibrant seaside city to enjoy, not too far from London. Head here in the summer to see Brighton at its best, walk along the Pebble Beach, and then stroll through the Lanes, which is a series of local shops filling alleyways to the brim, and finish off your day by spending some time on Brighton Pier. The historic cathedral city of Salisbury can be found in Wiltshire. It can often be overlooked but has plenty of things to see and do, making it another great city to visit in England. Make sure to visit the Gothic Cathedral here, where you can see the original Magna Carta manuscripts and then climb the spire for panoramic views. Not far from Salisbury is the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Stonehenge. You can take a day trip from London to see the famous site, but we personally recommend spending some time in Salisbury and heading to the iconic historic spot early in the morning. Watch this video to find out the things to know before you go to the United Kingdom. And then to find out about the best day trips from London, watch this video. We hope you have an incredible time in England and stay creative.